Hello everyone, our names are Michelle Lee,
Jessica Weber,
Regina Chow,
Raza Siddiqui,
and Sylvia de Jesus.
and today we will be presenting on sodium. What do you think about when you hear the word sodium? You might think of this. Or maybe if you're a science lover and you think of this. Well, today we're here to tell you everything you need to know about sodium and its relation to human nutrition. First and foremost, sodium and salt are actually not the same thing. Sodium is a mineral that is found naturally in food or added during manufacturing, or even from both. Whereas table salt is 40% sodium and 60% chloride by weight, according to the American Heart Association. Therefore, table salt has sodium, but it's not the exact same. According to Nutrition in You, about 90% of sodium consumed is in the form of table salt, aka sodium chloride. Table salt is often added to foods to enhance the flavor or used as a preservative. In addition, it is also used to reduce the growth of bacteria and mold in bread products and deli meats. Sodium can also be found in baking soda, so any foods that have baking soda, such as baked goods and pastries, will also have sodium in it too. To see if the food you're eating has sodium, you can look at the nutrition label. If any of the words salt, soda, or sodium are found on nutrition labels, it contains sodium.
Sodium has many important functions in the body. According to the FDA, sodium is an essential nutrient. It is needed by the human body in relatively small amounts, provided that substantial sweating does not occur. According to Nutrition in You, sodium is a major mineral, also known as a macromineral. A major mineral is a mineral that is needed from your diet and in your body in amounts greater than 100 milligrams per day. Sodium is also a major electrolyte outside of the cell. Some important functions of sodium in the body include regulation of fluid balance, water, and blood pressure, and transportation of substances like amino acids across cell membranes. According to Harvard School of Public Health, sodium is also important for conducting nerve impulses, contracting and relaxing muscles, and maintaining the proper balance between water and minerals. In most people, the kidneys have trouble keeping up with excess sodium in the blood. According to the American Heart Association, sodium is regulated by the kidneys, which helps control the body's fluid balance. If there is extra sodium in the bloodstream, water is pulled into the blood vessels, increasing the total volume of the blood and blood pressure. This increase in blood volume and blood pressure results in high blood pressure. According to Harvard School of Public Health, there is more work for the heart with an increase in blood volume and pressure. When the body needs more sodium, the kidneys reduce the amount of sodium excreted in urine. If too much sodium is consumed, the kidneys increase excretion of the excess sodium. The amount of sodium lost through perspiration depends upon the rate at which you are sweating, amount of sodium you have consumed, and the intensity of heat from the environment. As you get acclimated to environmental heat, less sodium will be lost over time in your sweat. This is a built-in protective mechanism that helps prevent the loss of too much sodium from the body.
Sodium can be found in a wide variety of foods. According to Nutrition in You, grains and proteins are two great sources of sodium. As mentioned before, it can also be naturally found or added in after manufacturing. From the American Heart Association, naturally found food sources include celery, which has 80 milligrams per 100 grams of sodium, beets, which has 78 milligrams per 100 grams, and milk, which has 44 milligrams per 100 grams. In foods with added sodium, 1 teaspoon of salt has 2,300 milligrams of sodium. These include foods such as canned soup, deli meats, and frozen dinners. Also, according to the American Heart Association, America's top 6 sodium sources are bread and rolls, pizza, sandwiches, cold cuts and cured meats, soup, and burritos and tacos. Bread rolls, although at first glance may not seem like a lot of sodium. However, we eat them throughout the day and potentially at every meal, so it can add up. Pizza, depending on the toppings, will alter the sodium amount. However, on average, can contain more than half of your daily intake recommendation. Sandwiches are similar to pizzas because it depends on the filling. However, sandwiches can often contain more than 100% of your daily suggested dietary sodium intake. Cold cuts and cured meats are also extremely high in sodium because it is used as a preservative. 1 2-ounce serving, which is 6 thin slices, can contain half of your daily recommended dietary sodium intake. Furthermore, 1 canned soup can range from 100 to 940 milligrams of sodium, which is more than half of your daily recommended intake. Finally, burritos and tacos are also high in sodium because of the toppings found in tacos and the fillings found in burritos.
DRI reference values for adults. DRI reference values are used for planning and assessing the diets of healthy people on an average daily basis. Most dietary sodium, over 70%, comes from eating packaged and prepared foods. To balance sodium intake, lower your sodium intake by using Nutrition Facts label. According to 2015 and 2020 dietary guidelines for Americans, it is recommended that Americans should consume less than 2,300 milligrams of sodium per day as a part of healthy eating pattern. And based on these guidelines, the vast majority of adults eat more sodium than they should, an average of about 3,400 milligrams each day. So, how can we reduce sodium intake? Note how many milligrams of sodium in each serving and how many servings are in the package. Foods that contain 35 milligrams or less per serving are very low in sodium, and foods that contain 140 milligrams or less per serving are defined as low sodium. Also, opt for lower sodium or no added sodium breads or crackers. Eat more fresh foods like apples, bananas. Research shows that foods low in sodium and high in potassium can help reduce blood pressure and the risk for other serious conditions. So, to live a healthy life, say no to excessive sodium intake.
What do you think is considered to be the maximum safe level of intake of sodium? The recommended upper intake levels for sodium for adults from the ages of 14 through 50 are 2,300 milligrams. According to Mayo Clinic, deficiency in the body occurs when there is a lack of. Lack of sodium in adults is rare since the average adult consumes more than the daily recommended. When sodium deficiency occurs, it is better described as hyponatremia, which is when there is abnormally low concentration of sodium in your blood. The top 3 reasons for hyponatremia include medications, heart, kidney, and liver problems, and syndrome of inappropriate antidiuretic hormone. Medications include diuretics, which are water pills, antidepressants, and pain medications. These medications are known to interfere with the kidney, whose job is to keep sodium concentrations within normal range. Heart, kidney, and liver problems occur from any condition that causes the accumulation of fluid in the body, which causes for the dilution of sodium in the body, decreasing levels. Syndrome of inappropriate antidiuretic hormone, or better known as SIADH, is a condition in which there is a high retention of water in the body caused by the production of a hormone called antidiuretic hormone, ADH. The 3 major effects of deficiency in the body include headaches, nausea, and vomiting. The 3 major effects of deficiency are very common symptoms in society, but if the hyponatremia is not treated, the condition could lead to rapid swelling of the brain and ultimately a coma or death.
On the other hand, it is extremely easy to consume too much sodium, which can lead to toxicity. Table salt alone contains 2,300 milligrams of sodium per teaspoon, which is the upper limit. Hypernatremia is the medical term for salt poisoning. It refers to high levels of sodium in the blood, which draws water out of the cells. According to the Harvard School of Public Health, it is most common in older adults who are mentally and physically impaired and do not eat or drink enough, or who are sick with a high fever, vomiting, or infection that causes severe dehydration. Hypernatremia is also caused by excessive sweating and diuretic medications. Sodium toxicity has extreme effects on the human body. The Harvard School of Public Health states that since water is drawn out of the cells, a buildup of fluid in the blood can cause seizures, stroke, coma, or even death. Fluid in the lungs can also cause difficulty breathing. The American Heart Association also reports headaches, nausea, vomiting, weakness, loss of appetite, intense thirst, and confusion as mild symptoms. Kidney disease, heart failure, osteoporosis, stomach cancer, edema, and hypertension are more extreme effects. High blood pressure is one of the worst effects of sodium toxicity. According to the American Heart Association, 77.9 million American adults have high blood pressure. Kids who have a high sodium diet are twice as likely to develop high blood pressure as kids who have low sodium diets. Although less important, increased water retention also leads to puffiness, bloating, and weight gain. Although it is easy to consume too much sodium, it is relatively easy to treat hypernatremia. You can reduce sodium in your diet by eating more healthy, Or if you are extremely dehydrated, oral rehydration or intravenous fluids can help to lower the sodium concentration in the blood.